Hello everyone, I am LilyMoon961 and today is the finale of me rambling about NieR Automata's music. Now some of you may be thinking, well LilyMoo, there's only 2 tracks left in the official soundtrack. Well, I have some additional tracks that I'm going to talk about today from the arranged and unreleased album that came out all those years ago. So I will be talking about a few tracks from that, and I will also be talking about a surprise track that we will get into later in this video. But for now, I will go ahead and get started with the first track that is up for discussion today. One thing that I will say is that, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Because in my brain I'm thinking, what did it have to do with spoilers? I don't think so. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah. I was doing so good. And then the chaos hit and my brain just said, nope, you're not going to do anything professional on my account. This is literally what happens anytime I record videos without a script. This type of nonsense right here. What I was going to say is that, as per usual, I will be listening to this music. I will hear it, but you guys will not be able to hear it because Square Enix can be a bit weird about their music when it comes to the copyright and such. So I don't want to take the risk of playing the music and talking over top of it in this video because, you know, it could get a little, you know, funky, and I ain't about that messiness. Okay, so this video really gonna be messy today. I can already tell it's gonna be one of those types of rambling videos where nothing makes sense. So Lord help me Jesus. Okay, let's get to the first track. The first track up for discussion today is called Weight of the World, the Noveau French version by Emi Evans. Now right away, this track is different from the other iterations of Weight of the World. It has more orchestration in it, heavier violin work, and lighter piano sounds at the beginning. Because in the original Weight of the World, the opening piano notes are heavier, but in this version, they're lighter to complement Emi Evans' brighter tone of voice. And as per usual, she sounds absolutely beautiful, and it is always a treat to listen to her sing. And since she's singing in the chaos language, she's not actually singing in French, but I believe it's called the Noveau French version because it's influenced by the French language. So that's why it's called the Noveau French version, but it is actually in the chaos language that Emi Evans created for the NieR games. And again, I don't have a whole lot to say. I feel that with the other versions of Weight of the World, I've kind of talked about their significance story-wise. And with this version, it's a little bit more difficult because the lyrics are in a chaos language, so I have to just interpret the emotions that are being portrayed in Emi's voice. And the music is also different in this song. Especially in the chorus, it's a little more bombastic in that because it's more of an orchestration, it's a little bit heavier in terms of percussion and in terms of like the different instruments that you hear. There's a little more variety within the piece. Beyond that, I'm not really picking up at this particular moment while listening to it, I'm not really picking up the type of emotional resonance that I'm looking to describe at this particular moment, and maybe it's just because I'm a little tired right now. And that's common for me, but again, this is a rough draft for a deeper analysis that I would like to do at some point. So I would say that this version of Weight of the World is more of a resolution rather than containing anything in relation to the characters. Because with A2, I guess for A2 and her ending, this version of the song complements her ending in the sense that she finally got her resolution. She was able to save 9S, able to cure him of the logic virus, and essentially put an end to the machines. So she has gained her resolution and she is able to die peacefully, knowing that she did what she set out to do, and now she will finally be rewarded in the sense that she'll be able to see those that she has lost again. And beyond that, I don't really have any other notes on this song. Like I said, this music and the way that it, and the position that it plays in the game, since it only plays after root C or D, it is essentially a resolution piece. It is stating the resolution of the game, you know, in context of those two endings. You know, this is the version of Weight of the World that is the resolution. But in terms of like emotional weight, I'm struggling to really like hear it right now, again, because I'm kind of tired. So I guess that's all that I'll say in this moment in regards to this piece. Hopefully in the future, if I should do another video like really in-depth analyzing with an actual script and all that, and go through these songs again, I'll do a better job with this piece. But for now, I do love this song. I love this version of Weight of the World. It's probably one of the ones I like the most, but I just don't have much to say about it right now. So we'll move on to the next track that I have for you guys today. The next track we are going to take a look at today is the first song on the NieR Automata Arranged and Unreleased album. It is the City Ruins theme, arranged by AJURIKA. Now the song starts off soft and sweet in the usual quiet dynamics that you would hear in the game, but then slowly but surely it starts to kind of build up this energy. And when the beat actually kicks in, I'm kind of waiting on it because I'm listening to it as we speak. And I'm just excited to talk about this part. So here it comes. Basically, when the beat kicks in, this theme turns into a Tekken track. And oh my goodness, that is fantastic for me, because Tekken is one of like the first sort of video game franchises I got into as a kid. I remember I played Tekken 4 when I was a kid. My brother got me into it, and so I just have a lot of fond memories of Tekken. But more important than my fond memories of Tekken, like the fact that this song is arranged sort of in that Tekken style just made me so happy when I first heard this track back in, I think 2017 was when this album was originally released. I don't own this album, so I'm listening to it on YouTube right now. And this track is just a lot of fun. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but I do love the arrangement of it and the fact that it's just giving me those Tekken vibes. And it honestly made me wish that in Tekken 7 that 2B could have been a DLC character, but she ended up being a DLC character for Soul Calibur, I think, and they had the City Ruins stage and all that, which is cool and all, but I don't think they used this arrangement. And I'm just like, guys, you had the perfect opportunity. You had this arrangement. It was perfect for a fighting game, and you did not use it? What? I'd have kicked y'all in your booty. What are you doing? But I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I do enjoy this though, and for those of you who may not have been exposed to the arranged and unreleased tracks from NieR Automata, I figured this was going to be a fun little addition to my rambling session, and I hope that by talking about them, you guys will go look into these tracks and, you know, experience NieR Automata's music in a different way. So without further ado, I will move on to the next track, because there's nothing really more I need to say on this. It's mixed well, it's arranged well, I love it. I listen to it all the time. It's currently on my playlist. So, yeah. So, on to the next track. Skipping down a few tracks, the next song I'm going to talk about is The Copied City, arranged by LITE. And that is so hilarious to me, because when you guys listen to this track, try to tell me that it doesn't sound like a theme from Death Note. And seeing that it's arranged by someone named LITE, that is just too on the nose. And again, like, the guitars in this are amazing. Like, I love this iteration of Copied City. The original Copied City is a bop and a half, and I absolutely adore it. It is phenomenal with its piano work. And I feel that the energy of that piano work was carried over into this arrangement where instead of the piano, it's the electric guitar and the bass guitar, and it is just really good. And again, it really does put me in the mind of Death Note. Like, this is a Death Note sort of energy theme. And maybe I'm just thinking along the lines of Death Note because I'm currently rewatching it, but it just, like, if you just listen to the bass, like, the bass is in my ear, and I hear that bass and I just think of certain themes in Death Note where the guitar is really heavy. Particularly, there's an actual theme that is called Death Note that has this sort of, like, you know, is a screaming sort of guitar theme, especially as it progresses. And this one has a similar energy to that one, and it just makes me happy because it's just a really cool transition. It's a cool arrangement to go from this piano heavy theme to a more guitar heavy theme, but still have the same energy and mystery and just coolness factor that the original Copied City theme had. I absolutely adore this arrangement. It's one of my favorites on this album. Oh, it's so good. Like, just the guitar is fantastic. Like, I'm someone who's a big fan of violins, but like when the electric guitar is screeching and it's done right and it's, you know, not overbearing, but it just hits that sweet spot. Ooh, my brain loves it. I love it so much. It's fantastic. Like, the inner rock chick inside of me loves that. It's so edgy, and it contains this power that is substantially different from the original Copied City, in that the original Copied City is more elegant, and this one is more in your face and more dangerous, and I really like that. And again, it just puts me in the mind of Death Note. It really does. Like, this, if you put this track in Death Note somewhere, like if you just edit it into Death Note somewhere, it would fit. It really would. Like, listen to this and tell me that it does not feel like a Death Note track. Don't even try me. This song is great. I love it. The instrumentation, the arrangement, again, it's one of my favorites. And again, that bass. Oh, that bass is so good. I love the bass in this song. It's so good. I love it. I love it. Why do I sound like I'm about to cry? I don't know, but I love it. It's fantastic. And it is a perfect tribute to this track, and it's gorgeous. Bravo. The next song that we are going to discuss is Veikope, arranged by Takuro Iga. This song is an iteration of the Veikope Spring Rain theme, which you guys know my feelings on Spring Rain in the sense that it doesn't hit me as strong as, say, Cold Rain, but this iteration of the track is a lot more expressive, which is strange to say because it doesn't have Emi Evans on the track, but the melody is played by, I believe, the cello. It sounds like a cello, but don't quote me on that because it's been a while since my music ear training. I actually need to redo some of that stuff. Not the point. That's not the point. I'm getting off track. The point being is that this track, because the different string instruments are playing the main melody, it feels more expressive. It feels like this actually sounds like the track that would play at 2B and 9S's wedding. Like, this feels like a wedding song, and I'm here for it. I can feel it in my soul. I can even see the, like, scene in my head of, like, 2B walking down the aisle and, you know, 9S waiting on her, and, like, the hopeless romantic inside of me. And plus, this song also has, like, a bit of a beat to it when it gets to the chorus part of the song, and it's so nice. It's, like I said, very expressive, and it has a little bit more energy. It has more of a variety in terms of the dynamics, and so it makes it have a stronger punch. So in a way, it's like, yeah, this could have played. Oh my goodness, I'm just realizing it now, that this could have been what played in that scene in Gathering Keepsakes when 9S goes to the field of lunar tears, like maybe it started off as Kaine's salvation and then like transitioned into this arrangement. Oh my gosh. Oh, like that would just brought a whole new context of how, you know, Emil's feelings and his connection to his friends like Kaine and NieR and Vice, how all of that like connects to, you know, just the transition of this place being special to Emil and now becoming a special place to 9S because he has left a marker for 2B there. And if the music had kind of slowly transitioned into that, oh my goodness, that would have been just amazing. I mean, it's not a requirement in the sense that the original scene that's already there is pretty much perfection. But just imagine if this song was the song that was playing. And I already contextualize Vague Hope being 2B and 9S's sort of love song because their relationship, as complicated and dark as it can get, there is just so much genuine love there that they have for each other, because 2B hates the fact that she's had to constantly kill 9S all these different times. She never really wanted to do that. And it's especially apparent in ending A and B that 2B hates doing this and that she cares deeply for 9S and that even though she tries to keep him at a distance, she loved that boy, okay? And 9S also, despite everything, he still, even though he has this bitterness and resentment toward 2B, he also loved her. Loved her so much that losing her destroyed him. And so their relationship, in my mind, it's one of the best romances. I tell you, I don't know if Yoko Taro really meant for these two to be like, you know, so like, I don't know if they were meant to be coded so super romantic like this, but in my head, that's just how I feel about these two characters together. Like, their story is a story of what it really means to love somebody and to love someone past their flaws, to love someone past the sins that they commit towards you, and understanding that no person is perfect and that when you're dealing with a flawed human being, you can't always just cut somebody off when they do something that's quote unquote problematic or shoots up a red flag. Like, there are certain situations where yes, you do need to follow the red flags, but then there are other situations where as you get to know a person, you just understand that they need they need more patience, they need more time, they need compassion. And you know, everyone has to treat relationships on an individual basis when it comes to stuff like that. But for 9S and 2B specifically, this song just exemplifies their emotions toward each other. It's very heartfelt, but it's also very sad and laced with just all this pain. And oh my gosh, I need to stop talking about it because I totally got off track in terms of like the actual song and the actual piece, because it's not even playing in my ear anymore. I just went on a rant about 2B and 9S. I love those two together way too much, and I'm gonna move on. But this iteration of Vague Hope, it is reminiscent of the spring rain theme, but it just has some stronger dynamics, and I definitely encourage you guys to listen to it because it's beautiful. So, on to the next track. The next song that I am going to discuss today is Song of the Ancients, arranged by Jun Hayakawa with Atsuki, Yoshida, and the EMO Quartet. Now, talk about something that would play in the streets of Paris. Oh my goodness, the atmosphere of this piece is immediately just super romantic. Like, this is definitely something that you would hear on the streets of Paris. Not that I've been to the streets of Paris, but in my mind, this is what I would hear on the streets. Just strolling about, going between shops, sipping tea at cafes, and meeting, you know, that one really cute looking guy. You don't speak the language, but But I got way off track. But as the song continues, it takes on a different dynamic and sounds less like walking through the streets of Paris and more like going into a tango. And I do feel that it recontextualizes the theme a bit, because the original theme for Song of the Ancients is, you know, Devola and Popola and their struggle as sisters trying to deal with this situation where they are the overseers of this project, and they're struggling because they have grown to care about the replicant version of NieR, but they still have a job to do and they still have to carry out their duty because that's what they were designed to do. And then carrying into Automata, they have been programmed with this sense that they must atone, even though that other version of Devil and Popola had nothing to do with any of the situations that happened in the original NieR. And so this song is different. I'm not sure if this song like really fits like the nature of like the stories, but in terms of just arrangement, it's very much like a tango, very much like, why do I keep thinking of 2B and 9S? Like, in my head, like, do you guys remember that movie, like, I think it was Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Y'all. This is 2B and 9S. Like, if they actually had to fight each other in the game, like, could you just imagine this being one of the tracks that played? Like, ooh, honey. The romance, the drama, the just inexplicable horror of it all, that you have to fight this person that you love, but they're aiming to kill you. Like, I can imagine that in 9S's head, like, if there was ever a campaign in the game where you're playing as 9S and it's in the past where 2B has been given orders to execute him, like, I can just imagine, like, that boss fight having this music in the background. I could just picture it. Like, Song of the Ancients, Betrayal. Like, oh my gosh. I think about these two as a couple way too much. But this song is beautiful. Like, I love the arrangement. Oh my goodness, the violins are so... Ooh, this part right here is so good. It's like toward the end of the song. It's good. Oh my goodness gracious. I wasn't ready for it because it's been a long time since I've heard this arrangement. So this is the first time that I've heard it in a long time. And it's really good. It has some of that atonement arrangement in there, but it also has, it's doing its own thing, and it's just, mwah, mwah, chef's kiss, love, love. Yes, take me to Paris. Yes, take me shopping in Paris. Let me fight the one I love in Paris. I love this. Okay, we're gonna move on now. The next track I'm going to discuss is called Emil, arranged by Morrigan and Lily. One thing that stands out about this track right away is that we have a female singer, and she sounds great. I wish I knew her name, because she sounds phenomenal. Her voice is isolated in the piece at first, when it first starts, and it takes a little bit before the music kicks in, and oh, she sounds like an angel. She just sounds beautiful. I don't know who this lady is, but she sounds beautiful. And then after like the initial lines of the song, like it goes on a different level, and I don't even know how to describe what happens in this song. It just decided to get epic all of a sudden, because it started all soft and sweet and angelic, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, now we gotta go like like, I don't know. It's just so good. I don't know how to describe it. I wish I did, because it's gorgeous. It's a great arrangement. I don't know what to say. I don't have words, because it's also been a long time since I've heard this arrangement. So this is the first time that I've heard it in a really long time, and it is powerful. It just smacks you in your face, because it's wildly different from the original theme in that the vocals are completely different. And like when that beat start kicking in the back, and you have like these other lines going, oh, it's so good. Whoo! Like, I love it. It sounds like a battle theme. I'm not sure what game it would be in, but it does sound like a fierce battle theme that has like layers of dynamics. And ooh, and it's got like this darkness to it. It has this edge that like the other Emil themes don't have, because it's from the perspective of a child character, but this one is like, oh no, honey. This one decided to just go straight up diva on us, and now we just have to sit with it, just be like, well, okay, queen, go for it. Like, it's so good. I love it. And like I said, it has like this darker element to it. Like, I'm really trying to think of like maybe a game that this would go into that it would really fit in well with, or what characters would be suitable for it. But I'm not sure. It's just like, it definitely has anime vibes for sure. Like maybe, oh, it's so good. Maybe the Fate series, potentially. It's really good though. I'm just having trouble, like, because it's going through different dynamics and is, oh, it's so good. And again, like I said, it's been a long time since I've heard this one, so I may have to end this one early because I don't think I'm going to have anything to say aside from just straight up gushing, just be like, oh my goodness, they did this, they did that. Oh, goodness gracious, I was not ready. I was not ready for this. Like, it has some nasally vocals that come in later that I just don't know how to process. It is really cool. Like, and it has some, like, different vocal lines that you don't hear in the other Emil themes. So it has a lot of new stuff to offer. Sorry. Yeah, it's definitely giving me, like, anime vibes. Like, I'm trying to think of a specific one. Like, the Fate series is a contender, but I'm trying to think of, like, something else that has, like, like that has this sort of, like, you know, somewhat dark, but also like a really strong, hopeful tone. All I know is that it's good, honey. That's all I can say. I'm definitely gonna stop this one early because I got nothing more to say. Just go listen to this track. It's good. It's really cool, and it just has a lot of different layers to it that is just, you know, been a shock to my system this entire time. So we're gonna move on to the next one now. The next track we are going to take a look at is called Alien Manifestation, arranged by Yutaka Oyama, Junichi Saito, Yusuke Shima, and Jose Colin. Now, immediately with this song, it is reminding me of a track that is in the OST of Fullmetal Alchemist, Conqueror of Shamballa. I believe the title of that track is called Requiem. And this track right here kind of has the same energy. And I love it. It's a really cool, like, it's one that you could potentially, like, kind of, like, salsa dance to. It has that feel, and I do enjoy it quite a bit. It's also currently on my playlist on my MP3 player. I have this song on there as well from this album. And I love because it's not the type of direction you would expect this song to go in terms of arrangements. Because the original Alien Manifestation is very much a, like, you can tell that it's a theme that has, like, it's an orchestral theme in certain ways, but it has a more technological sound in that it is definitely trying to go for an otherworldly sound. But here, this one is going more for a almost Wild West sort of thing. At least that's how I interpret it. It has more brass instruments. It has just a faster rhythm that, you know, like someone would salsa to. It definitely has, you know, that type of rhythm. It's more, it has a different energy. Like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily more energetic than the original version of the song, but it is definitely, it just has a little bit more of a groove. And it's going in different directions than, say, the original. Like, this one's more jazzy. It's like, do 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 do. And I do enjoy it quite a bit because, like I said, it's just not something that you would expect for this track, because the original is very much it's an orchestration in the sense that it is definitely going for atmosphere. And this one is more like, no, let's just get up and dance. And I really like it, especially because it has the more brass instruments. Like, that trumpet is going, and I absolutely am here for it. It's nice. Because typically I'm not much of a brass instrument girl, but in a song like this, it works really, really well. And whoever is playing that trumpet is doing a really good job because they're just selling the melody of it, and it's cool. It's just cool. It's a cool arrangement. Very, very nice. I enjoy it. And I don't think I have anything more to say. It's just a nice arrangement and definitely one of my favorites from this particular album. Because, again, it's just so different from what you would hear in the game. Like, it's completely different. And it's fun. That's all I have to say about it, though. So we'll move on to the next track that I want to talk about today. The next track that I'm going to talk about is the last track that I'm going to talk about concerning the arranged and unreleased album. The track is called Weight of the World, and it is arranged by ZANIO. Now, this version of Weight of the World is, without question, my favorite. I love this version of Weight of the World. It just invokes a different feeling for me. Pretty much from the instant it starts, it has a more bright and hopeful tone, even though it still carries some of the somber energy of the original Weight of the World. It is sung in English, so it is using J'Nique Nicole's lyrics, so the lyrics definitely fit with this tone of the song. And this song also just has this warmness to it, like you're watching a sunset, and it has this emotion of, it's almost peaceful in a way. Even though there's still some sadness, it's almost like someone is making peace with having this weight of the world on them, and is still hopeful that things can change and that things can be better. And I really like that energy concerning this song. And also, this song just has like that slight country twang to it. And you know, being from the American South, like I sometimes like a little bit of that country twang. Not all the time, but in a song like this, it works really well. The way the violin is played is very reminiscent of kind of what you would hear in country music, and I really love that for this particular track. It suits me in my head. I love this track. I'm fumbling over my words a bit because it's hard to kind of express what this version of Weight of the World means to me, because I remember listening to this song a lot in different moments when I was sad, when I was dealing with things. It's one of those songs that for a really long time stayed on my playlist for like months at a time, because the singer, although it is a male singer, just for whatever reason is carrying those emotions of hope in his voice, even though he is singing about, you know, being sorrowful and having the weight of the world on him. And it's just sweet. This version of the song just carries a sweetness and carries a strength that's different from the other versions of the song. While J'Nique Nicole's version and Marina Kawano's version and Emi Evans' version do what they're supposed to do for the game and are powerful and are great for the game, in terms of how I feel and how the song affects me, this is the version of the song that I personally prefer, because it does have a stronger sense of belief that things will be better. That even though you're carrying the weight of the world, you won't have to carry the weight of the world forever. And I love that sentiment. Especially in the times that we're living in now, that is a sentiment that we all need. Because a lot of people are just so fixated on the negativity in this world, and we don't appreciate the bright spots in our life enough. And this song kind of just reminds me to just slow down, breathe, and just be okay with some of the darker emotions that I feel, and to accept them and then move on from them, and know that even though things may seem meaningless at times, they're not. There is a purpose to everything that we do, to everything that we see, to everything that we experience, whether good or bad. And this song is an encouragement to me, and in a way reaffirms my faith and helps me to keep my eyes on the prize and keeps me strong. It's one of those songs that when I need a little bit of strength, when I need to reaffirm my faith, to reaffirm that God is with me, this is the song I listen to. And it's this version in particular because unlike the other versions, this is the one that conveys the most hope. And it will forever be my favorite iteration of Weight of the World. I love this song, and God bless the people that arranged this particular version of the song, and God bless J'Nique Nicole for writing the lyrics. The next song I'm going to talk about is featured in NieR Automata's DLC. It is called Inochi ni Fusawashi, otherwise known as Deserving of Life, and it is by the artist Amazarashi. So this song is one that I listen to very often. I love this song. It is very powerful, and while I probably can't show you any of the footage, the actual music video for this song is really impactful and is definitely a strong piece in relation to Automata and to the DLC story that we see. It's just one of those songs that I often listen to without the lyrics. I do have them in front of me right now, but I'm not really going to speak on them at this time because I'm not really analyzing the song. But emotionally speaking, this is a song that is extremely well composed and is extremely well sung. And I really do feel things from this song because it's a very lonely song, showcasing how many of the characters that we see in the game couldn't really connect to each other because of all the secrets and all the lies and all the different things that were weighing them down. And the sentiment of the song has a lot to do with wishing that they didn't have emotions and that they didn't have to wrestle with all these different feelings. And not just on the Android side, but this is also showcased on the machine side. They also have emotions, and they also have things that they're struggling with, particularly in the DLC. I can't quite remember his name. I know it's Plato, but I can't remember the number next to the name. I think it was either 1321 or something similar to that. I just don't remember at this time. But his character, he was always trying to prove himself because everyone saw him as just this defective machine. And he found something that mattered to him. And then when he saw that thing destroyed, he just went berserk and was killing everybody. And that was why the machine life forms, ended up destroying all these different dolls, because seeing that doll destroyed is what made Plato freak out and just lose himself in rage and anguish. And it's the same sort of thing that we saw happen with 9S when he saw 2B killed. He lost himself in grief. And it was the same thing that happened to Eve as well. When Adam died, he lost himself in grief and just completely felt like nothing was worth living for anymore. And sometimes when you do connect with people and you have strong relationships and you get hurt by them, you have those moments where you think, if only I didn't have to feel anything. And it's not even just when someone hurts you, it's just when you lose somebody. Sometimes you think to yourself, wow, I wish I didn't have to feel anything. If I didn't have to feel anything, then it just would hurt so much. I could move on. I could get past this. And we fight so hard to protect the things that we love. And sometimes there's just nothing you can do. You end up in situations where there's just nothing you can do. And in encountering those situations, the important thing to learn from those situations is that it's okay to let go of control and accept the reality that's in front of you. Because that's really the only way that you're going to move on, is just accepting the reality that some things are going to fall apart in your life. But that doesn't mean that you can't be happy in the future. And it doesn't mean that you can't have a good life, that you can't have life inside of you and joy inside of you. You can. And that possibility exists for the characters within the game as well, even though for the majority of it, they didn't feel that. But eventually, and I'll be talking about it in a minute, but after you get the main endings, ending A, ending B, ending C, and ending D, when you approach the true ending, you realize that in fighting as hard as you can, you have this chance to give 2B, 9S, and A2 a new life. A life that they can truly be happy in, and a life that they truly deserve. And so that's really all I need to say about this song. It is a very powerful song, a very beautiful song. Amazarashi, I feel like I just read the name wrong, but this band did a really great job with this song, and it's very powerful, and I thank them, and God bless them for making this song. It fits in with Automata's themes very, very well. Great job. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we can finally talk about the last song on NieR Automata's soundtrack, Weight of the World, The End of YoRHa. This track, as many of you know if you've played through Automata to ending E, is very powerful and has a very strong significance because of what you're doing in the game at that time. Pod 042 wants to save 2B, 9S, and A2, and is essentially going on a suicide mission alone to salvage their data. And in doing so, when you are playing as 042 and you're going essentially through the hacking space and you're fighting off the credits of all the different people who made the game, you're struggling because it's a difficult part of the game. Whether you're really good at the hacking mechanic or whether you're really, really bad at it, it's difficult no matter what your skill level is in terms of the hacking game. And whenever you get killed off, you see little messages. There'll be a message that'll be like, do you want to give up? And then maybe in the background there'll be a message of encouragement. And each time that you essentially die, the messages keep going, and you keep going because you want to save 2B, 9S, and A2. You want to save these characters because they've suffered through so much. And this song is the background music for this mission. First you hear the hacking iteration of the track. Then you hear J'Nique Nicole sing. I think afterward you hear Marina Kawano. And then finally Emi Evans. And their vocals will repeat several different times throughout the song when you're actually playing the game, not necessarily on the soundtrack, but everything will repeat. And you'll hear the la la la's in the background. And I believe that the la la la's in the background is basically the entire development team that worked on NieR Automata. So like it's Yoko Taro and just everybody, the Platinum Games people. I need to look up their names so that I could name them all, because I want to be able to name them off, but that will have to wait till another time. But all the people that worked on the game essentially came together for the recording of this song, and we're doing the la la la's, and their la la la's are kind of beneath the main vocals of J'Nique Nicole or Marina Kawano or Emi Evans, and it is a very powerful piece of music because of what it means at this particular point in the story. This is the moment where you are reaching the true emotional climax of the game. This is the moment where you realize you don't have to do these things by yourself. That even though you are struggling to get to the end, there are people out there who are willing to help. There are still people in the world who are willing to help strangers, who still have enough kindness in their hearts to give, even if it's to people that they wouldn't necessarily even like, or agree with, or have anything to do with in the real world. That is the power of NieR Automata's true ending, is the sentiment that even though we all go through terrible things, and we all face challenges that sometimes feel meaningless to us, they do hold meaning. Because when we work together, when we lean on each other, when we make that effort to reach out and just be giving of our time to others, giving of ourselves to others, that's when we receive the best gifts in life. And that's one of the most important takeaways that I get from the ending of NieR Automata, that people need each other. And despite how awful this world can be and how awful people can be, we still need each other, and we still need to work to understand each other. You know, you don't get to just cut people off all the time just because you don't think that they're a good person. You know, you don't, especially if you don't know that person. It's just not a good thing to always be so reactive and cut people out of your life. This song is definitely just one of those songs that exemplifies the need that we all have for others, and showcases that when you're willing to put yourself on the line, when you're willing to make those sacrifices in life, they will be rewarded with the help and love that you need. And ultimately, in context of the game, for 2B and 9S and A2, they all were able to get a chance at new life because of the players that played through the game to the very end and gave up their data to help others get to the end of the game. And that is powerful. That is just a beautiful example of what I perceive as Christ-like love. That exemplifies that, because, well, hello, Dad, how you doing? My dad came into the room for a second. But what I was saying is that in my mind, this entire sequence exemplifies Christ-like love, mainly because of the sacrificial nature of what you do at the end. The fact that you do give up all of your save data. The fact that when you get to that point, you are given every opportunity to just be like, no, let me keep my save data. You were given every opportunity to just completely bail from, you know, this really important aspect of the game. You're given every opportunity to bail and continue playing the game as you have been. You have chapter select, so you can, you know, play your favorite parts of the game again. You know, you can collect all the weapons and get all the joke endings and different stuff like that. And you have every opportunity to just say no to ending E and just continue having fun with the main game. And you're given every opportunity to just completely ignore the fact that by the end of the game, you know, if you don't go through with ending E, everybody just dead. So in going through with ending E and in sacrificing yourself, because you're essentially sacrificing all the work you put into getting all the endings or getting all the weapons or, you know, your items or even like DLC stuff. Because when you sacrifice your data, you sacrifice that too. So like, let's say you completed all those arenas, and some of those arenas can be a bit difficult. And let's say you completed everything, and then at the end, you still delete all your data, and you would have to go back and start at the beginning of the game and play through it all again to get back to that point. So it's a big deal to sacrifice your save data, especially if you were trying to get every little thing out of the game. It's a big deal. So it's a very sacrificial thing. It's kind of similar to the ending of even NieR Replicant and Gestalt. When you get to this point, and I guess not necessarily Replicant, because Replicant has its own ending E, but I'm specifically speaking of the original NieR and how it ended with ending D, where NieR essentially gives up his entire existence so that Kaine can live. And so both of these endings exemplify what it means to have Christ-like love for somebody, where yes, this person or people that are before you are flawed. They have issues. You know, in some cases, especially if we're going to bring up the context of this particular story, you have people in this game who just straight up were murdering people over and over again, not because they wanted to, but they were in a situation where they were having to kill people over and over again and betray people over and over again. And you have 9S who just, you know, went insane and was also just really murder happy for a minute. And then A2 herself is also a character that, though she's kind of the unsung hero of the story, she has also been through experiences where she has also had to kill people. And be in situations where there were others that could not forgive her. And this is a situation where you as the player, you look at these different characters, you've seen their flaws, you know every detail of their sins, and you still decide that you are going to sacrifice your save data, not only to save them, but to make sure that other people that play the game who want to save 2B, 9S, and A2 get that opportunity to make that same decision. It's absolutely beautiful and reflective of that sort of Christ-like sacrifice that Jesus made for the sake of humanity. And I'm not trying to get religious or anything on anybody, because I know there are plenty of people who would contextualize this completely differently. I'm just saying it because that is how I perceive the ending of this game. So there you go. And because that's what I take away from it, as a Christian, that is what I personally take away from it. And even though there are other elements of the game that can paint religion in a bad light and blah, 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 the ending paints it in a completely different picture, in the sense that it showcases how powerful that type of sacrifice is and how beautiful that type of sacrifice is, and why we as people should appreciate sacrifices like that. So, yeah. So I believe that is the end of my rambling about NieR Automata's soundtrack. I want to say a special thank you to different friends of mine who supported me during this series and just had fun with me in terms of discussing the soundtrack, and in terms of just talking about the game in general, and who are still playing the game even now and going back and forth and learning new story elements and different things such as that. I just want to say a special thank you to my friends who have also played this game. And to any of you who have stuck around from the beginning of this and watched to the very end and put up with my rambling, put up with me fumbling my words, put up with the fact that this was just one big rough draft of a deeper project that I would like to do in the future, but probably don't need to do because I've already said everything I need to say. Thank you. I really appreciate all of you watching. I appreciate all of you listening to me, because it has been a joy, an absolute thrill to speak about NieR Automata's music, because the music is a big component of why NieR Automata is pretty much one of my favorite stories of all time. Like, not even just in gaming, like just in media in general. It is one of my favorites. I love this game, and I love the story of this game because it is heartfelt, and it does showcase so many beautiful things about humanity and about what it means to find meaning in your life. And that's just a beautiful thing, and I applaud Yoko Taro, I applaud Keiichi Okabe, Keigo Hoashi, J'Nique Nicole, Emi Evans, Marina Kawano, all the different people that contributed to this game, even those that I cannot name in this moment, but anyone that was affiliated with Platinum Games at the time, the executives at Square Enix that were affiliated with this project. I thank every one of you for bringing this story to life, and thank you for making a story that could impact so many people on a deeper level. And I just want to say that I appreciate you all, and God bless you all. And for the rest of you watching, if you enjoyed this content from me and want me to see and want to see me do this type of project again, maybe with less rambling and less fumbling over my words, but if you want me to do this sort of project again, well, you know what to do. Press that like button and and subscribe. I'm hoping that I can maybe do this with NieR Replicant and Gestalt, and I'm thinking of doing this for Final Fantasy 15, and I'm thinking of doing the same sort of project for Kingdom Hearts as well. So y'all can comment and tell me which one I should start on first. So there we go. Okay, I've done enough rambling. I'm tired. It's like it's hot in here. I need to go. I need to take a nap. Okay, thank you for watching. God bless you all. I love you all. And I'll see you in the next project, whatever it is. Bye-bye. Mwah.